Hello and welcome to all my SalesRXers and first-time listeners. I'm your host and your sales doctor, Chet Lovegren, and I'm excited to share with you some insights on your prospect's compelling event. The compelling event is essentially a fancy sales way of saying why they are thinking about your offering or why they're even evaluating your offering. Whether they're thinking about buying it or just thinking about buying it, that motivation didn't populate out of thin air. There is an instance, rather a recurring event, that is driving them to look for a solution like yours. Regardless of you cold calling your prospect or someone raising their hand and reaching out to you for a demo, there's always a driver behind someone taking that next step. In outbounding, finding the compelling event is already done a bit on that cold call. Whether you use something similar to Kevin Dorsey's perfect world scenario or Keenan's gap selling techniques to find a hole in their current operation, that is your compelling event. In the world of inbounding, this is the very first question I like to ask my hand raisers who are looking to start the evaluation process. I say, before we get started, tell me a little bit about your world and what's going on over there that's led you to look at a solution like ours. It's actually very simple. I like to say before we get started because that brings their guard down a little bit and makes them feel more at ease that the sales part of the conversation has not yet begun. It allows them to open up a little bit more and be a little more transparent and unguarded with sharing their pain points. Prospects tend to be a little bit more receptive, chatty, and open with their response when you add the "before we get started" phrase to the beginning of your call. The reason it's important to find your compelling event is because this is the reasoning that your prospect has shared with you that is going to be the basis for every call to action moving forward. Just landed a new client who requires you to have something like ours in place? Well, hey, the longer we wait, the longer it's going to take for you to start making that revenue, and the more at risk you are of losing that customer. Also, the more time it takes you to bring a solution like ours on board is the more time you're giving your client to find a competitor of yours that already has something like this in place. Did the business recently experience a spike and they need an offering like ours to help handle that new growth? Fantastic. So based off what you've shared with me, we don't have a moment to lose. Let's schedule our next call for later today or tomorrow at the latest so we can move at a speed and pace that's relevant to you. Your compelling event is going to be the basis for every tie down of your prospect's next step moving forward. Without a compelling event, there's no driver behind the evaluation. There's no need. Nobody's going to spend 3, 6, 9, 15 hours or more with you without having a damn good reason to do so. If we can't find a logical way to tie that compelling event to the entire process moving forward, you're not going to be able to keep your prospect intact for every next move. Today's episode's a little shorter, but it's something that's been on my mind, especially as more and more people are reaching out to us on LinkedIn now that the podcast has really grown, offering us services, offering to partner up with us. I find more and more salespeople, probably nearly 100%, I don't think I've seen one yet, that really finds a way to dig deep on a compelling event for us and offer their solution moving forward. This is a tragic loss in sales. It's our goal to be as helpful as possible to our prospects and every person that we're reaching out to position an offering or a service. Don't forget to stop by our LinkedIn page, like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and feel free to poke your head into our DMs and ask us a valuable question you might need the answer to. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to listen to the podcast, and I'm hoping that you found these insights valuable. In the meantime, keep positioning, keep developing, and we'll see you on the next one.